Hey there everyone, welcome back to Utility Sports. Really excited for NBA draft content back on the channel here for 2024. The NBA offseason's been great, but that's behind us now. Let's go ahead and jump into this draft cycle in a strong fashion. We're going to talk about breakout candidates who might enter this season in a strong fashion that not a lot of people are expecting, or maybe you haven't quite heard of even. We're going to discuss that in this video. If you are new to Utility Sports, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more, especially if you enjoy this type of content. We have an NBA mock draft coming out soon, so I'm very stoked for that. A lot of hard work has gone into that. Trust me, this offseason, I know I haven't been making as many videos, but I've been working hard on other things, doing a lot of different stuff for the channel specifically that's going to breed a lot of great stuff coming out on the channel in the short term. So I'm very, very excited for that. Without further ado, let's jump into it now with our video preview. What do I mean by breakout candidates? Specifically, we're looking at non-freshman players in the college scene who are poised to massively improve their draft stock. We're also going to look at international prospects who you may not be aware of quite yet. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that they're non-freshmen. Most of these international players are 18, 19 years old, so they're relatively young, but you probably aren't familiar with them quite yet because we're starting our draft process right now. We're also going to talk about some players who I'm very, very excited for. We're going to get into all of that and more in this video. If you guys do enjoy, make sure again to leave a like and subscribe. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. And here we are, prospect number one, and I'm really excited about this one. One of the mainstays and one of the main reasons I wanted to record this video, Judah Mintz for Syracuse. Now listen, last year I think he was really productive, put up over 16 points a game as a true freshman, put in 2.3 rebounds, 4.6 assists per night. Now his shooting splits were rather woeful, specifically from behind the arc, and that's a typical issue that we see with some of these high usage guards is their efficiency doesn't necessarily back it up, especially from the three-point line. And that's a really important aspect for being a great NBA point guard is can you shoot the three ball and how efficiently, effectively can you do it? Judah Mintz did not do that last season. Part of why he did not end up staying in the draft. Now he did go through part of the draft process, went to the draft combine, decided to back out of that. And I think now he's in a better spot this year, going into year two as a sophomore guard to put up even better numbers and kind of really cement his draft stock this season. I'm really excited to see him playing this year for the Orange. Now listen, this team plays a lot of 2-3 zone defense. That's of course been a staple of Boeheim's defense there at Syracuse, and I think there's going to be questions around Judah Mintz defensively because of that. He's also a smaller guard, 6'3", 172. He's rather slight, but I think he's somebody who he's smart. He's got active hands, and I'm looking forward to seeing this guy playing in the NBA, and I think we won't have to wait very long to get there. I think this draft significantly thinner and weaker than last draft, and that's not a knock on this draft. This draft, I think there's still a lot of good impact players. Last draft was just insane. We had superstar potential at the top, a lot of really great high impact players throughout. This year, a little bit less of that, and because of that, Judah Mintz is in a great position this year to, last year maybe he wouldn't have been a first-round pick. This year, I think he comes in probably cemented as a likely first-round selection, and because of that, I think he's a really great prospect for us to keep our eyes on this draft cycle. Let's jump into our next one here. We look at a player in Trentyn Flowers. Now, he would technically be a true freshman if he was in college right now. So I labeled him as a freshman guard / wing, and kind of the question on the diagnosis there is he's got wing size to him, 6'7", 190 pounds. He is a little light for a true wing at this point, but he's young. As soon as you get him into an NBA weight training program, strength program, he's going to bulk up because he's got the frame for it. He's got wide shoulders, he's got a strong frame already, and he's still rather light. At 6'7", again, he's got that wing size, which is what every NBA GM should be and is looking for when it comes to drafting and developing players. And I think Trentyn Flowers has a lot of things to work with, and that's kind of why I label him as a guard, is he's got some guard skills. Now, this year in the NBL, playing for the Adelaide 36ers, they've tried him out as guard. It's kind of been up and down a little bit. Now, that's what you expect for an 18, 19-year-old kid going over and playing professional basketball for the first time. I don't think that it is unsalvageable for him to be a guard. I just think it comes down to utilizing him to his strengths. I think he's a good off-ball player. I think that's really where a lot of his strengths lie currently. And because of that, that's probably the way I would look to utilize him. But at times, you can take kind of advantage of some of those guard skills and use him in certain matchups to play point guard or to have him bring the ball up the floor and get you into sets and do those kinds of things, because he's getting some of that experience right now as well, which is super valuable. You look at guys like LaMelo Ball, Josh Giddey, Trentyn Flowers kind of is cut from the same cloth in terms of the size. Of course, the experience playing in the NBL, that's part of why Trentyn Flowers ended up decommitting from college here in the States and ended up going out to Adelaide to play for the 36ers. Obviously took a big gamble, big risk, and I think it's going to pay off big time for him. Right now, a lot of people are talking about him as a second-round pick. I think, that's maybe a little possible. I'm not saying that's out of the realm of possibility here, but I really do believe there's a legit shot he is a first-round selection. So because of that, I do think this could be a real breakout year for him. He's had some awesome moments already. He had an 18-point fourth quarter just the other day in what was a huge win for Adelaide at that point in time. So Trentyn's having an awesome beginning of the season. I'm really rooting for him. I want to see him succeed, and I'm really, really excited to continue watching him this season. Going on to prospect number 3, we got Nikola Topic, another international prospect here playing in MegaBasket. MegaMIS is who he's playing for, and well, he's a freshman playmaker. I really don't know what position this guy is. He's playing point guard right now in MegaBasket. I look at him more as a small forward type. I think with his frame, 6'6", 200 pounds, that's probably the skill set he fits. But he does do a lot of awesome things with the ball in his hands. I think specifically his passing ability is underrated. I think he's a really nice shot maker. He's flashing a lot of different areas because of that. I think Topic is a player who, some of you might be saying, another Nikola, are you kidding me? It just seems like we've had so many Nikolas in the last couple of years in the draft, but Topic is a player that I think is going to be a high impact guy, and don't get sick of the name Nikola. I know Nikola Jokic just won finals MVP. Because of that, dude, there's going to be way more Nikolas coming down the road. So stay ready for him, because there's going to be more and more and more basketball players coming out with the name Nikola, just because of how impactful Jokic is. We're probably 16, 17, 18 years away from that, but once we get there, we're going to see a lot more Nikolas. And Topic, he's a really, really interesting prospect, very dynamic, and just his ability to score, pass, handle the basketball. It's just what you're looking for. Sizey playmakers, you just can't get enough of them. High IQ players like Topic, that's what you want on your roster. I think he's going to be a very good draft and grab, and you're going to be able to put him into lineups pretty early on into his career, where when he's smart, you have high IQ guys. They just end up making the right decision. And I think Topic, with his ability to read defenses and the such, he's going to do a lot of those things for an NBA franchise sooner than later. Prospect number 4. This one, look at that, another Weber State prospect. Who would have thought, right? Damian Lillard was supposed to be a one-off. Not quite. I think Dillon Jones, there was legitimate buzz for him being a draft prospect last year, and now he's going into his senior season for Weber State, and I think he is really set up to succeed this year. Now, looking at his stat line this year, this is what we would call a doer. And just like Home Depot says, doers get more done. And that's exactly what this guy does. 16.7 points per game last year, nearly 11 rebounds at 6'6". So this is just a player who wants the basketball more than the people he's playing against. That's already a good sign. Nearly 4 assists per game. That was a career high for him last year as a junior. And actually the shooting splits, you might say, whoa, shooting splits are kind of low. They are. That was actually the worst efficiency of his career. And that's typical with what you see with a lot of these college guys. As they assume and take on more responsibility, the efficiency numbers go down. We talked about that with Judah Mintz and kind of being a score-first guard, how difficult that can be in terms of the efficiency. Dillon Jones did face some of that, only 46% from the field. Now, he did have a career high from the free throw line, 81.3%. So I think his shot is somewhat trending in the right direction, even though some of the other numbers don't suggest that. And I think that going into this year, part of why he didn't come out last year is I think he's confident he can build on those efficiency stats. First 2 years in college, he shot over 50% from the field. I think with a little bit more selectivity, a little bit more improvement on his game, refinement on a couple of things, he's somebody who can be shooting over 50% from the field on high usage at the college game. Now in the NBA, he's not going to be an 18, 19, 20 point per game scorer, but I think he's going to be one of those impact role players where, you know, he just seems to make the right play or get a timely rebound at the right time. He's going to be able to guard up and down the lineup. He's got a big, strong frame to him. And like I said, he's a doer. If you ask him to do something, he's going to go do it. He's going to get it done. I think he's really rounding out his game. I kind of liken him a little bit to Wendell Moore Jr., who was a first-round pick just a couple of years ago to the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think Dillon Jones, we're going to see him in a similar light this draft cycle as a player who a team is going to value somewhere in the 20s, maybe the 30s, but I think he is a first-round pick right now. You'll see him in my mock draft coming out later this week. Again, stay tuned for that. I'm really excited for that. A lot of work has gone into that. But Dillon Jones, I'm just really excited about this player. Senior forward, 6'6", 235 pounds. He's meaty, he's strong. And I think he's going to be a player that can impact winning at the NBA level. And I think this is going to be a big breakout year for him, especially in terms of the notoriety he receives. Let's get into prospect number 5, and I talked about how Judah Mintz was a big-time player that made me want to record this. Well, this is literally the player that defines this video. Kel'el Ware, there's not a better example in the nation of a guy who might break out this season. He's a sophomore center. He's got the length and size, 7 feet tall, 210 pounds. He is rather light, but the perfect thing about Indiana is, first of all, it's a fresh opportunity, fresh situation. You've got a great coach in Mike Woodson who knows how to utilize big men. And they need a big man to replace Trayce Jackson-Davis. Kel'el Ware transfers out of Oregon, comes into Indiana, and now has an opportunity in front of him to really assume the role that a lot of people expected him to be last year in for the Ducks, where last year he was coming off the bench, lost a lot of minutes. Now he had some foul trouble issues. There were things that kept him off the floor outside of just the coaching staff. But I think this year, the coaching staff believes in him. He was a massive get for them in the transfer portal. And I think they're going to really rely on him this season in ways that Oregon didn't look to last year. And yes, you might say, well, he's very slight, especially for Big Ten basketball where they like to pound inside. You got guys like Zach Edey. Look, that will be a problem. But luckily, Indiana has Malik Renew to go to as well, who is a big, strong physical frame who can kind of battle inside as well. Maybe use Kel'el Ware as a weak side shot blocker a bit, which is really where I think his game could live the best on the defensive end. And then when it comes to his actual offensive impact, I mean, there's not a lot of 7-footers in the game at the NBA level even who are as mobile, athletic, agile as a guy like Kel'el Ware. His highlight reel is just ridiculous. He jumps out of the gym. He really good lateral mobility side to side on both offense and I think defensively there's a lot he can live up to in that area as well. Now listen, he's raw. The skill set's not fully developed yet, but if you're going to a spot to develop a skill set as a big man, Indiana might be the best place for you. And again, he's toolsy. Last season, not a great year. Averaged under 7 points a game, 4 rebounds a night, not even 1 assist per game. Not the same player Trayce Jackson-Davis is. It's going to be a little bit of an adjustment period for not only Kel'el Ware, but also for Indiana in utilizing Kel'el Ware. And that's okay, because I still think there are a lot of great things that he can do. And really, I thought at the end of the day, if Indiana would have went a little bit more high pick and roll with Trayce Jackson-Davis last year, they could have gotten to another level in their offense. We'll see if they do that this year. If they do, I think that's how you really maximize Kel'el Ware. I think he's going to have a huge season. He dabbles with some three-pointers. I think just really touches on a lot of the things you're looking for in draft evaluation. Last year, he just didn't get it done enough. Kind of started the year as a low-end first-round grade for me, and then kind of just quickly fell out of that with the role he had and some of the flashes he had, just not really stabilizing it and the consistency throwing it together. There were some flaws there, but I think he is going to trend that way this year, and I think he's going to stabilize as a first-round pick in this draft cycle. That's where I currently stand with Kel'el Ware, and I'm really, really excited about it for him. Hopefully you guys did really enjoy this video. Again, if you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content. Don't forget to check out some of those other videos on the channel. We're going to have a mock draft coming out soon, but in the meantime, go check out some of my Eastern and Western Conference predictions. Go check out my AP Top 25 college basketball poll reveal where I talk about the top 25 in college hoops. Make sure to go check those out. Thanks again, guys, and we'll catch you in the very next Utility Sports video.